Hello and welcome to the third part of the Well Done Foundation series. In this video we're going to really get into the action of the real physical plugging of the well. I'll interject every now and again to give context or describe parts of the process that we didn't talk about on camera, but there's a lot to get to, so let's get right into it. Take it away, Curtis.
Right. Once we match a donor or a supporter with an orphan well, then we like to move as quickly as we can. Obviously, you know, in northern Montana here, weather can be a pretty significant factor. So we try to concentrate as much of this work as we can in the non-wintery months. It just costs less and we're more effective, and it's safer. So, and a great example with Joel's well here, the Anderson 7 that, again, New York businessman Joel Citron adopted, is that from the time when he committed to the well to today and to get a permit in hand was about 10 days. And so our program is, look, we want to make sure that we maintain a pipeline, no pun intended, a pipeline of projects that are ready to go. So we do our work so that when we match a donor, we can quickly deploy. We're very fortunate that our partner crews here in northern Montana, the Enneberg excavation team, is 100% on board with us. They're absolutely a great partner.
Well, my name is Matt Enneberg. I own Enneberg Excavation Well Servicing. And so we do dirt work and mostly oil field well servicing, plugging, cementing, acidizing, anything to remediate wells or plug and abandon them. Well, I decided to do this because I grew up in the oil field, and that's all I really knew, and I enjoy it. Yeah, I'd be second generation in the oil and gas industry, and so I just try to continue keeping it going. So I just take it on a one-by-one basis when he says he's ready. Then we'll do another one.
So that Wednesday morning I drove up to the field. Matt and his crew already had the trucks and rig in place, and we're getting the gear ready. While we waited for everyone else to arrive, I caught up with Curtis as he was taking the final readings on the well. I'll spare you the sounds of the trucks backing up, but the flow of gas was between 50 and 60 cubic feet per minute. Once everyone arrived, we got started with the first priority, safety.
Enneberg Excavation has a high commitment to, safety, and that's the top priority to begin with on these projects. And make sure that everybody has their proper PPE, and the goal is to send everybody home the way they showed up.
Nothing trumps safety in the oil field and in this type of an environment, and so we got the entire crew together, all of our volunteers, all of the paid staff, all of the folks that are here observing the project, and went over the process for the day.
And since we're overhead already, let's take a look at the equipment and the game plan so it's easier to follow. Here we've got the crew trailer for getting ready with their PPE, brakes, meals, and first aid equipment. Then the rig itself, which will be going up shortly. A water truck, the pump truck, which mixes both the cement and gel that will seal the well, then a truck carrying the dry cement powder, and as we come around there's a trailer holding the pipes that will run down the well. To clarify the process, let's go through this in animated form. Now this isn't to scale and the colors are changed for visibility, but it should illustrate the game plan. In this representation, purple is oil, light blue is water, white turning to gray is cement, and although the gel is also gray, I'm showing it green here because I ran out of colors. The pipe is run down the well, roughly 1,500 feet. Then the pump truck is hooked up and they set a bottom plug of cement into the well tube. They pull the pipe out and let the cement set up overnight. The next day they run the pipe down again to tag the bottom and make sure they're at the right depth according to the records from the state. If everything's in place, they pump in the gel spacer. This fills up any voids if there are holes in the pipe from corrosion. Then more cement is pumped in to seal the rest of the well. What's left in the well before plugging is a sludge of oil and water, but oil is lighter than water and floats on top. Both the gel and obviously the cement are heavier liquids, so as they're pumped down, the oil and water rise to the surface. The crew capture this overflow in a sump pit on the surface, where it can be drained and taken off-site for proper disposal, minimizing the local impact on the field. When the cement is the only thing coming out of the well pipe, they know it's capped off and the well is sealed. The first step is raising the rig. It's a pretty quick operation, and I asked Matt if this was a typical piece of equipment in the oil fields.
It's somewhat typical. All of my equipment comes out of Canada, so everything is really good condition, and everything's well maintained and easy to operate. And this rig is a freestanding rig, so you don't have to have any guidelines or anything. You just back up, stand it up, and it'll withstand the wind up to 70 mile an hour. It's quicker. It pulls double tubing, so we can manage that in and out of the hole a lot faster. So it just saves a little time.
After the rig is up, the flow chamber is removed and the crew sets up a deck or a platform they'll stand on as they run the pipe. The top of the well is fitted with a shoe that, through hydraulic controls, can clamp around the pipe, holding it in place as they add segments, so the pipe doesn't drop straight down the well. It's controlled by the rig operator up on the deck.
Usually 4 of us. Rig operator, which is me, usually 1 or 2 floor hands, and then we got a pump truck operator, and one of the floor hands will operate the pneumatic trailer for the cement, and one will operate the water truck.
With the rig up and the crew in place, they begin numbering and measuring every pipe that will go into the well. The state has records of each well depth. They can use that as a guide, but there's no assurance that a well drilled in the 1920s will have accurate information. The measurements here in the field will tell them exactly where they are.
We strap and measure each joint so that we know where we tag at exactly and where we're spotting our plugs at, within tenths of a foot.
30, 59, 30, 24.
And essentially what we were able to do was to open the well bore up and run what we call the workover string of pipe into the well. This particular well had a depth of 1,500 feet.
And to get to that depth, they'll pull each section of pipe off the trailer in order, securing the female end in a yoke that's raised up the rig until it's above the pipe being held in the shoe. Then the yoke is slowly lowered until the pipes are seated and the threads aligned. Another tool is brought in to hold the lower pipe while it clamps and spins the upper pipe. Once the pipes are connected, the tool is removed and the shoe opened. The yoke is lowered again to the floor's working height, sliding that section into the well. The shoe closes again, and the yoke is released to grab the next pipe in line.
Well, for me, the funnest part of the job is running the pipe in and out of the hole. It's just my favorite part.
So we put roughly 48 joints of pipe into the hole until we got down to just near the bottom. And then from there, we mixed up a hot batch of oil field cement.
And to get that cement into the well, the crew connected the pump truck hose to the pipe they ran, ensuring that the cement would enter the well at the right depth. Matt, tell us what's the trickiest part of the job?
Well, making sure that your cement is all mixed properly. Or at least that's the most nerve-wracking part, I guess. Our cement pump truck has a density meter on it, so it'll as you're mixing cement, it'll tell you the density, your weight, so that you know where your cement is mixed properly. And you've got the right amount of sacks, yeah. You know, it's just straight cement and water.
Some chemical additives.
And chemical additives, yeah, but I mean, there's no aggregate in it to make it a ready mix. Right, you just mix it and pump it down the well and let it harden and you're done. I mean, you have to pump it to get it spotted where you want it.
While the pump truck was mixing, Matt prepped the sump area to catch the excess cement, oil, water, and gel that would come out of the hoses and the well itself.
You know, for fluid management, because we try and contain it and catch it in a culvert so that it isn't contaminating the ground, where we can suck it out and get rid of it, and then we can pull the culvert, reuse it, and backfill and not have a big mess.
We were able to then install that cement into the oil-bearing formation up about 200 feet into the casing pipe.
With the cement measured in, they disconnected the pump truck and flushed out the hose in the sump. Then back to the rig.
To finish up the day, then we removed all of the pipe out of the cement. In fact, we pulled all 48 joints came out of the hole today.
Knowing the pipe is going back in tomorrow, they were able to leave it together in double sections to speed up the process. I'm just glad I'm not the guy who had to climb up and disconnect and stack the pipes in order. But with that job out of the way, Curtis was able to go back in with a gas probe and check the results.
And as we just showed when we were doing our sampling, that stopped the methane flow from the oil-bearing formation. So we're super excited. This morning, we were emitting, nearly 6,000 metric tons at 4:03 when we just checked it in. Carbon-free. And what's cool is that we come back and we have a 10-year post-closure monitoring program that we've committed to, so that we can show the public that this actually works, right? And that we're committed to standing behind the job that we do. And then tomorrow morning, we'll run that pipe back in till we can touch the cement. We put an accelerator in the cement so that it will harden up more quickly. So tomorrow, first thing, we'll run the pipe in and we'll do what's called tag the bottom to just make sure that we physically can tell that that plug is where it's supposed to be. And then we'll start setting the rest of our balance plug, which is a gel spacer and then a cement top surface plug.
Well, that was a full day, and we'll come back in the next video to check on our plug and finish up the process. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
So stay tuned for tomorrow. Awesome.